Human diversity and intersectionality. So human diversity is a range of differences between people as it relates to race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, values, age, etc. And a key concept or term is intersectionality. And that's the idea that people are complex and that they belong to more than one diverse group that overlap, and this can cause them to experience a combination of injustices. For instance, African American lesbian, they can experience discrimination because they are African American, because they are lesbians, and because they are women. Same thing with economic justice. They might get paid lower because they're African American, because they are women, and because they are lesbian. All three of those groups can cause them to experience some type of injustice. Oppression, discrimination, and stereotype. Oppression is extreme limitations um, or treatment, harsh treatment of someone, a group, or a larger system. Discrimination is basically treating someone different based on a certain characteristic they have, or a certain group that they belong to. This can include race, sexual orientation, age, or gender. And the stereotype is a fixed mental picture or of a member of a specified group. Due to a certain characteristic. And in Being Black in America, he talked about discrimination and stereotypes that Black people face. He talked about how Black people's opinions are seen as intellectual weak, and that Black people are just athletic. They have no wisdom to them, or they aren't smart. He also talked about multiple Black males who have been killed because of their skin color, and nothing was done about it. In the LBGTQ video called Ask Me, they talked about how a lot of them felt unsafe on their campus, and they felt like they would be targeted because of their gender identity or their sexual orientation. And in the video, Intellectual Disability, she talked about how people with intellectual disabilities were treated different, and how society felt like that they didn't belong, that they belonged to be institutionalized, or that they couldn't do normal activities. Human rights and social and economic justice. So human rights is basically all people are entitled to basic rights and treatment. Social justice is that all citizens have equal rights, equal protection, equal opportunities, obligations, and social benefits, no matter what background they come from or what diverse group that they belong to. And economic justice is basically the distribution of resources in a fair and equitable manner. In the video, Ask Me with the LGBTQ students, they kind of talked about social justice, or what they talked about kind of relate how they don't have social justice. They talked about how they didn't have bathrooms for transgender individuals, and how they weren't allowed to use the bathrooms that they are identified with. And they also gave instances of where people have been escorted out by security guard if they went into a restroom that they identified with. They also talked about the campuses not having resources that the LGBTQ community members needed. In the video, Intellectual Disability, she also talked about how people with intellectual disabilities were denied health care. And this is a human right that all people have. They shouldn't be denied health care just because they have an intellectual disability. In the video, 7 Kids, One Apartment, he basically talked about him being in poverty and how his mom worked all her life, and that they still couldn't afford affordable childcare, so they had to miss school and take care of their siblings. Community development. So community development is basically bringing a group